take no loss. Yeah, I don't even know what it costs. Yeah, I hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, hit the ground then it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time. Think it's my year.
Morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy March Madness Day, everybody. This is the morning show. We're not going to talk about March Madness. We're going to talk about gold and silver because, holy cow, I've just seen those things this morning. Top of mind, for sure. I got JC Parets here. I got Steve Strazza here. I got Sean McLaughlin stopping by in a few. We'll have Jeff Mackey pop in for a little bit. And that is going to be it for the morning show today. That's what we got on the schedule. Good morning, chat. Good morning. There's too many of you to say. I can't say hi to all of you. Just too many. But I'm saying hi to all of you at the same time. Good morning to all. Glad you're here. Good to see you. I got the guys backstage. Should we dance? Let's dance.
Oh, yeah.
Hello.
Dude, let me tell you something. I really enjoy talking with the students. You know that?
With who?
With the students.
Oh, yeah.
In general.
I saw pictures of you.
Have you ever spoken at a university before, Strazza?
Not as a non-student.
We gotta change that. You'd be good.
I've always wanted to. I wouldn't talk to like these students, but I've always wanted to talk to college kids about.
I was at the great Jesuit institution yesterday, home of the Fordham Rams. Look at my colors. Am I rocking the Fordham? Right? You'd see that?
Awesome. That's awesome.
Dude,
you went with the magazine covers. Good call. Good move.
Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Low-hanging fruit. Is it cheap trick? Cheap trick to bring out the magazine covers, or is that the right move?
No, that's got to be the move because people love that. That's a good way to pull in the audience.
Dude, I had them laughing. Here, go to the next one. Show the crew. Look at this crew. It was they were nice guys, So I mean, I started out the presentation being like, how lucky are you freaking guys that you get Jay Woods to teach you about technical analysis? Like, are you kidding me? That's like not even fair.
Did you tell them that? They're like one
up on everybody. I
started the
presentation with that. Be like, you guys don't even know how lucky you are.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
I don't know what it's like now, but this simply wasn't a thing when we were in school. There's no technical analysis courses.
No, it was, but it's only like in a few schools. It's like University of Richmond.
Three
it's
schools.
Like random. It's like Golden Gate University, like just random places.
California one.
Yo,
that's it. Golden Gate.
No, there was like 10 of them. Fairfield wasn't one of them.
And
Clearly, UConn wasn't.
JC's going to speak at all of them one by one.
No, I mean, listen, over the years, I spoke at NYU. That was cool. Harvard back in the day with Pearl Dog. Me, Pearls, Josh Brown, a few other cats went to Harvard. That was a long time ago. Hong Kong Baptist University over in Kowloon. That was a lovely experience.
Nice.
Wow. You get around.
Not these days, I don't. I get to NYC, I get to come back, I said an Uber ride, no big deal. It's different. But shout out to the Jesuits, shout out to Fordham, shout out to Jay Woods for the invite. Everybody really enjoyed talking about the market and technical analysis. Like I understand Jay Woods is like their professor. He's the floor governor of the New York Stock Exchange. So clearly they've learned a few things, but like the interest was a lot more than I thought.
Was it a big class?
I don't know. There were like 40, 50 people there.
Yeah.
That's a good size.
Yeah, not small. Dude, their Bloomberg room, the Gabelli Bloomberg room, dude, is sick. It's like a trading floor.
the Gabelli Bloomberg. It's named the Gabelli Bloomberg room. I
don't think it's the Gabelli Bloomberg thing. I think it's like the Gabelli Finance Terminal class or something.
Whatever.
Yeah, but lots of Gabelli everywhere.
Right. Well, when the school is named after you, you can do that stuff.
Right, because it's the Gabelli School of Business, right?
Right.
You probably donated a few bucks.
Probably. All right, let's state some markets.
Let's do it. All right, folks. Dow down 270 this morning. That's 46,250. So that's 3,750 points away from a Dow 50,000. It's not that close, actually. S&P 500 down 0.5%, 38 handles. That's 66.38. We got the Nasdaq 100 futures down 0.2%, 24,480. Down 160 handles on the Nasdaq futures. 30-year futures, the ZB's down 0.5%, back under 114. Crude oil up 1/3%, just under 96. You got copper down 4%, just under 540. Copper really getting hit here. Gold down 6%, 46.12 for gold. Silver down 12%, 68.45 with the VIX at 26. You're looking at 1.7, 1.8% move in the S&P per day is what it's currently pricing in. And in funny money, you got Bitcoin back under 70,000, Strazza. 69,700, down 2% on the day. Ethereum, 2160, down 2% on the day, 2160. Solana at 89, down 1%. And the total crypto market cap, Sir Spencer Israel, back down to 2.38 trillion. How do we feel about this morning's futures?
Sold everything yesterday afternoon.
Is that what the picture of you and a bunch of ducks?
I sent them to you.
Yeah. Strazza is sending me pictures of him with ducks and him feeding them, like in the pool. So you sold everything?
No, I'm saying they sold everything yesterday. You have to take profits along the way. I mean, some big levels are getting broken. I think the evidence is pretty mixed. I don't think you have to like totally get out of the way right now, but yeah, you want to keep it tight, take some profits, reduce exposure. We're right on the brink here. Some really, really big levels. They dig in and reverse it. I'm going on with Weitzel today because he called me yesterday. He said, a big red candle or two here and some of these, key indexes complete tops.
Yep.
And I said, totally, I'm with you. But at the same time, a big green candle or two could fail the tops and give you a great entry, and we're off to the races. So I think we are at an inflection point right now. I don't think we've necessarily chosen a direction quite yet, but the Bears have been winning all week.
What's up with these computer hardware stocks? I can't get over it. Let's throw up some of these. Throw up slide 4.
Again?
Micron had a great report, but like most things in tech, down 5%.
Right. Look when they delisted the ETF.
Yeah, this is great. Forgot
right
about
before
this.
It tripled.
XTH, Tech Hardware Fund.
It was, and then they decided that nobody needed it right as people needed it the most, and it was about to triple.
They probably were like, no one wants this. Clearly,
Throw up the relative.
It was super illiquid.
They didn't decide nobody needs it. They were like, oh crap, nobody wants this. Okay, goodbye.
I don't know why State Street's like industry funds are not more popular.
Why don't we ask Todd Sohn when he comes back on in a couple weeks?
A lot of them are really nice, like equally weighted. It's good stuff. There's no liquidity in half of these things. So,
you want to have a laugh?
Wait, what? These are the same charts? I don't. What are we looking at?
Here, no. You guys want to have a little bit of a laugh?
Equipment.
Throw up slides. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Speaking of popular ETFs, we've reached that time of year where every 5 minutes there's a commercial for the QQQs because, as a reminder, they have to spend more. They're a trust as of this moment. They're a trust, and they have to spend all their potential earnings and marketing. Otherwise,
is that true?
Yeah, that's why they're converting not to a trust, but they are a trust.
Throw up
right
slides
now.
2 through 5, so we can talk about what just happened with computer hardware. We've seen this story before. Frontier Markets was listed right at the beginning of last year. Wasn't last year like the greatest year in the history of Frontier Markets, Strazza?
Yeah, look at this. Another good one. Another good one for the record books.
Right, another good one for the record books. Throw up slides.
You got to buy the freedom. You got to buy the freedom for the Frontier Market exposure now. Big fans of the freedom here on the morning show. Big fans of the freedom.
Coal got delisted December 2020. Right, great. Coal stocks were the best performing stocks during the Biden administration.
Yeah,
this is just a different flavor of the same idea that the magazine cover indicator propagates, and also major index constitution changes, right? Inclusions or exclusions, right? Additions and deletions. It's all the same, different flavors of the same thing, which is that
one of my favorites. Straz, remember this guy? Remember the nib?
Yep.
Shout out to the nib. Rest in peace. Nobody in the world cared about the nib. Oh, and then when you needed it most, they took it away. They took it away. Right on cue.
They had
that's real life, guys.
They had a couple good ones. What's the name of that asset manager? Tecrium? They had a lot of good commodity funds, and half of them went away right as the commodity super cycle really started taking off.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really make this stuff up.
Didn't they have OJ? Wasn't OJ one?
They had a Joe. A J-O.
The Joe, the
Joe.
coffee.
There's a few coffee ones.
Joe. There's sugar. Do they still got the sugar, the SG? Nope, they don't. That's gone too. Oh well.
Thought they did.
Gotta open a futures account because wheat and soybeans and a lot of these ag commodities look really good. Nice bases. Fresh bases.
And
all right, hard pivot. Can we get into Forex markets and credit spreads?
I'm surprised.
I need to be that guy.
I'm surprised you don't want to talk about like gold and silver this morning. Silver's down.
Well, I think that this is part of it. I think that dollar story is part of it.
Okay, silver's down like 12%.
Mm-hmm. Strazza's like, I told you.
That's a lot.
I told you.
That's a lot of percents.
Right, Strazza? Give it to him.
What?
I told you.
Just thinking about software stocks.
Is that what you're thinking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, when you go one by one and you look at these software stocks, Adobe's retesting those former lows.
Yeah.
Adobe's a big one on earnings. Right here, dude.
Fired the CEO, finally.
They did?
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, excuse my ignorance, but like, what's the problem? Is because AI is killing him and he's an idiot for missing it, or no?
Yeah, the Photoshop business, which was really their growth driver, struggling. It's being eaten. AI is so hungry, it's eating everything.
How hungry are you right now?
I haven't had breakfast yet.
You're following that Perlman program. It ain't easy, huh? It's just like what I'd give for a breakfast cannoli right around now.
For a nice croissant. Yeah. Look. Are they gonna try to send some of these stocks that bottomed back in February back for a retest of the lows? If you look at stuff like software, I think so. They're probably going to try. You get a nice little bullish momentum divergence there, and then finally bottom.
Right. This is the weaker low, right? CRM still's not retesting. It's really Adobe.
Adobe's the worst looking one. It's been that.
Adobe's the worst looking one. Even ServiceNow, they're all much higher than the lows. I don't own any of these, but I'm thinking about from just from a market implication standpoint. Like if these things don't hold, like now you're getting a new leg lower. That's more pressure on stocks. So even though I don't own these, half my freaking portfolio is in oil and gas.
You know, you got something like the Qs, XLK, the MAGs. They've been just sitting on, a shelf of support. It's been in place since like February. For something like the Qs, even longer, right? You can zoom out. We were testing this level back in October, November, around 585. I think if you just look at that dollar index, right around 100, if that goes and breaks out, and that's a little base in dollars, and we get a leg higher, I think a lot of these big risk levels that we're talking about, a lot of these big potential tops that we're talking about, complete and become tops.
Let's take the other side. So Adobe and Microsoft, probably the ones that look the worst, right? And then you got others like CrowdStrike and and some of these others like
there are others that look
PanW, like PanW also looks much better. So some of these things look a lot better, but some of these big ones are down near those lows. Like, so again, I'm not really that interested in owning these, but I'm thinking about if those big ones that are lagging hold, and the market bounces here, what does that mean for the ones that are holding in the best, the PanWs?
Crowd, you're right about Crowd sitting there coiling at the VWAP from its all-time highs. Palantir already failed its top, tight here in a little flag situation.
Palantir also, yeah, sure.
So there's two groups. There's the group that's holding and the group that's kind of at the
none of them have broken. Adobe's right there, dude. Adobe's the worst one, and it is right there. And they fired the CEO when?
It was like last week. It's Adobe, it's Oracle, it's Atlassian Team, right? TEAM is right there. But all the ones that you said that are not, JC, those are all cybersecurity, right? pretty much.
Oracle and Microsoft are kind of down there too. Not as bad as Adobe, but they're right there.
I mean, they're all down. Anyway, but then there's the other group. Like you said, there's like the Intuits, there's the cybersecurities of the world. Those are not really all that close to.
Intuit dug in right after earnings and is up almost 40% from the lows. So there have been great trades that have been made in software just over the course of the past couple of weeks. Now, do we hang in, consolidate here, these stronger ones, and then start moving higher? I think that would be a super bullish development. Stuff like Adobe, the bad ones, are digging in and holding those lows in that case, I think.
All right. So I think we need to talk about Micron. I threw up the longer term chart here. Throw up the new slide too, just for perspective. People were like, "Well, JC, we're talking about post earnings." Like, yeah, but let's put things into context. I think context is important, especially in this one. I think context matters, right? So whatever's happening now in Micron, understand that it's happening within the context of this. Is that fair, Strazza?
What about it? Big base. What?
You think that's fair? If we're talking about the move this morning, down 5%, I think putting it in the context of what has happened is really important.
I mean, if you're still in this, you're a little bit greedy at this point. How many price targets you want to hit? You've hit about 4 coming out of this base. So maybe take a little
if
off.
I recall, we were right here on this show talking about it there, Mr. Strazza.
Yes, definitely. Great base.
So where are we right now? 440? Is that where the stock is? Stock at 437.
Yeah.
437. So 437 basically puts you where we were on Monday. So just for perspective, Micron is where it was Monday, which, by the way, is where it peaked in January.
Yeah, it's been sideways for almost 2 months. Yeah.
So, all right. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Micron's where it was on Monday. I mean, I don't own this.
It's not a big deal. This is you could zoom in on the chart, draw a little support and resistance line at like 450, a little bit below 440, and it's a little retest of that for now. We'll see.
What's up with this SanDisk, man?
It's been one of the best stocks in the market.
Can you tell me why? What the hell is happening?
I don't know. People are gobbling
I'm
up
not mad about it. I own it. I'm not mad about it, but just curious. Like, why is this one so good and the other one's not so much?
These became AI stocks, and at the moment that started happening, these companies were trading for like 12 times earnings. Some of the cheapest basket of stocks in technology. So they saw a massive re-rating as well as like, a blow up in their fundamentals at the same time. So you get the earnings growth and multiple expansion at the same time. That's really powerful. SanDisk has been up 1,000%.
Yeah, man.
Right? People need memory, turns out. And by people, I mean AI companies. So
you think these precious metals are telling you the dollar's about to go?
Hope it doesn't. It's going to cause some problems.
It's going to cause real problems, man. Euro breaking down. Euro looks like shit. Euro looks like Goldman Sachs. Have you noticed that?
Throw up my chart of the credit spreads in the dollars.
It's a good chart.
This is my scary chart. Scary chart of the week. If I wanted to scare somebody, I'd show them these.
Explain.
Basically credit spreads.
Yeah, walk us through what's going on here.
This is dollars and credit spreads. So from an intermarket standpoint, right, 2 big things that'll either act as a headwind or just show evidence of some real stress in capital markets would be credit spreads and the US dollar. These are both major intermarket headwinds if they keep moving up and to the right. Simple as that. And then you got to look at all those other charts we're talking about sitting on those necklines of these big support shelves. If these are breaking higher, those are probably breaking lower. You know what I mean? You don't want to fight it at that point. But for now, it's not happening yet. So, but you got to see it. A big green candle in these and some big red candles in the equity indexes kind of kicks off, I think, a downside leg for risk assets. We got to see it first.
Brittle Max says the dollar goes, I go. Yep, that's probably that's basically what Steve is saying.
One of the great lines of all time is Joe Fahmy. Shout out to Joe Fahmy, who's not going to be in Vegas with me next week. By the way, I'm going to Vegas next week. If you're in Vegas, if you're in Las Vegas and you are going to be there at the Oxford group, they're putting together a big show. Those guys kill it. Come say hi. We'll be there Monday at the Four Seasons, I believe. I've never stayed there. I think it's part of Mandalay. I think got some Four Seasons hustle up in the Mandalay or something like that. So Joe Fahmy, the way he says it, you know, when the Nasdaq is below its 50-day moving average, you go to Vegas, and when the Nasdaq's below its 200-day moving average, you go to Hawaii. That's awesome.
Wait, he said you go to Vegas when it's below the 50?
When it's below the 50, just get out of the office, go to Vegas. And if it's below the 200, just go all the way to Hawaii.
That's great.
It's great. Because, you know, Fahmy's one of these guys where, like, you know, he likes his earnings growth and his momentum. He's one of these, like, can't slam IVD guys, right? William O'Neill dudes, right?
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. But the point is that in William O'Neill's book, he takes out, like, an ad in the book, like a whole one-page ad. And he's like, warning, in bear markets, none of this works. Like,
right.
Everything I've just said is completely irrelevant.
He takes out an ad in his own book.
In his own book. It's like an ad. Do I have the...
That's funny.
I don't have it back here. I got it somewhere around here. He takes an ad in the book. Be like, hey, just a warning. Everything I've just said doesn't matter in a bear market. So that's where Fahmy's like, okay, because Fahmy follows all that stuff, right? So Fahmy's like, okay, below the 50-day, I go to Vegas, hang out with my rock star friends, right? Like he has friends. He has so many rock star friends. It's ridiculous. So I'll just go to concerts in Vegas. He doesn't even gamble. I'll just go.
Hang out with Aerosmith.
I'll just yeah. Shows all these guys. He doesn't even gamble at all, and he'll just go to shows. He does.
For how much that man is in Vegas, he doesn't gamble.
You know for how many years Fahmy and I have been going to Vegas together? I've never seen him gamble once, or even want to gamble.
He's got it.
He's like me and makes fun of the people who are gambling. Like, look at this idiot. You know, he's one of those. Why would you?
Yeah. All right.
No, but there's a lot to do. Have you ever been to Vegas?
Yeah.
There's not much else to do.
That is not true. I go to Vegas. I don't gamble. My wife doesn't gamble. We go to shows. We go to good dinners.
Yeah, in the evening.
Hang out at the pool and have drinks by the pool.
Okay. You can hang out at the pool and you can go to shows. That's pretty much what you can do.
And great dinners.
I'm going to go to Cirque du Soleil, the one at the Bellagio, the water one. I'm excited to see that. And we're going to go to the Sphere and watch The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
And I'm going to gamble a ton.
That's what you do.
You like to gamble? I don't. I feel like such an idiot.
Not really.
I'm like, am I really betting that these stupid cards are going to turn out in my favor? Like, is that what I'm doing in my life right now? Like, I just feel like such an idiot.
I like to bet on the sports more than anything, but I'll do a little roulette.
You're resulting, JC. It's about the process, you see?
I like the process of walking to the pool, ordering a bottle of champagne, figuring out what restaurant we're going for dinner, and seeing who's in town. Are we going to see a concert? Are we going to see a comedy show? I don't know. Maybe both. You know, maybe we go to. You want to go to the Caesars. You want to go to Absinthe. That's where you want to go. You don't want to see Cirque du Soleil. This is like that, but better.
I've heard about the Absinthe. I'm going to
I've seen it a bunch of times. It's great.
No, I want to see Cirque du Soleil.
But you're getting the Cirque du Soleil stuff, but you're also getting raunchy comedy.
Maybe we'll do both. I'm definitely going to the Cirque du Soleil.
It's still out there. It's in the Caesars, right in the front of the Caesars. I don't know if it's still there. I haven't been in a minute, but anyway. All right. Why do you say bring Mackie? Speaking of consumers and spending money, I heard the consumers broke.
No, but they're spending more money on gas now. So.
Oh boy.
I'd love to hear Mackie's take. I'd love to hear Mackie's take.
Well,
so terrible.
We have it right here.
Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Mackie. Oh, Mackie's on mute. So many mutes lately. Kenny was on mute yesterday.
Right.
What's happening? Why can't we hear Mackie?
Unplug it and
turn my mic on. Turn my mic on.
Usually
you got to blow into it like this.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
You know what I'm saying?
Wait. You know what, Jeff? It's in the platform. If you just click on the mute button in the platform, that should.
There you go. The files are in the computer.
That should do the trick, but I can't.
Right.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Jeff Mackie in down in California.
Can you hear
always has a nice glow to him. You know.
Wait a minute.
He gets good sun. Maybe that's what happens when you literally watch the sunset every day. You know, I was watching the sun. I was watching
Jeff,
the
just
sunset in Miami.
refresh, and it should work itself out. No, he was just in Europe, man. He was in Europe for a
He's
week.
just in Europe.
Yeah.
But he spends a lot of time getting sun. I was watching the sunset the other day because where I was in Key Biscayne, and the sun sets on that side out of the balcony. So I was watching. I don't get to watch the sunset very often. In fact, I saw the sun rise a few times as well. As I was getting up early, do a little work, do a little workout.
How we doing now?
Oh, Mackie boy.
God, that just awkward introduction from hell. I don't know what's going on here. It's just I'm still getting back in stride. I got a little jet lag. I was in Europe. Europe was lovely.
Where were you in Europe?
We went to Spain. Went to
Nice,
Spain.
dude.
We saw some Gaudi, underrated architect. It's like the Dr. Seuss. He designed basically all of Barcelona. Fantastic, gorgeous time, fantastic time with the family. Came back. It cost me 20% more to fill up my car. It's a kick straight in the nuts, JC. You know,
Yeah.
it's hard to make me really feel poor. I've been blessed a little bit and cursed a little bit with the idea I don't look at price tags. You know what? The fact that I didn't fill up my car before I left town, and then I came back and all of a sudden it cost me $100 just to go to the goddamn Circle K and fill up my car. That sucks. I noticed that. I'm not a particularly sensitive. I'm not a delicate flower in terms of consuming things. I noticed that. That makes you tighten up your sphincter a little bit. You pass on the Diet Coke. You maybe don't get the Mentos. You know, it's because I just don't want to pay that much more. And I think
That's a blog post. That's a blog post. Tightening up the sphincter. That's the.
You know, who doesn't? Even with the EVs, you still got people filling up their car on average about every 9 days or so. And every 9 days, you can ignore all kinds of inflation. God knows I do, because it's depressing as hell. You run your books monthly and it's like, what the hell's going on with my health insurance? This is crazy. But that's your monthly kind of, you know, you have a cup of coffee and you get over it. When it happens that randomly, just every time you go to the pump, that sucks. And most of this country still fills up their gas. You know, it affects every single consumer group. Of all the surveys that people look at, of all the sentiment crap that we like to just dump on every time I'm here, the one that really matters is just rate of change, price at the pump. You know, you can overthink it. You can get all kind of global political. You can talk about the Strait of Hormuz. You can talk about the supply chain. You can do all that in margins. But at the end of the day, if the consumer's spending money, we're fine. The consumer's going to spend less money if they're spending more at the pump. It's that simple.
And, you know, I feel like just consumer sentiment in general was so poor with oil prices at historic lows. Like, if they were pissed off before oil prices started going up, right? You know?
And see, but just being a little grouchy doesn't matter. You know, I mean, that has less of an impact. We've talked about that before. Michigan's poll's broken. It was at 100 before COVID. It got to 50 just because everyone started bitching more. I blame the young people, like I do for just about everything. But whatever's going on there, the consumer, those indicators are just wrong.
I got to tell you, I was
the
with some
price of
young
gas
people.
is limbic.
Mackie, I was with some young people, Jesuit-educated folks over at Fordham University. I got to tell you, I was very impressed.
Yeah. The future. I believe the children are the future, and I think we'll all work out fine. I'm working hard to stay positive. I'm working hard to stay positive, man, because earnings report after earnings report, it doesn't matter. You know what replaced how you're going to use AI as the first analyst question every quarter? It's just going to be, how are you hedging energy? That's going to be the entire drumbeat of every damn
none of them
are
out there. Right? None of them
have an answer. There is no good answer. How am I hedging energy? I don't know. My cost just went up 50%. How am I hedging going to the gas station? I bought a swimming pool and I filled it with gas. I tweeted yesterday about buying an elephant. I'm going to teach it to fill up its trunk and then just squirt it into my tank, because that'll be cheaper than actually driving to the gas station. There is no good solution to hedging energy. You can't hedge when all your expenses go up. And again, we can talk about the dollar. We can talk about kind of anything you want to make it as political or kind of wonky as possible. Just look at the pump. Just drive to the gas station and look at what you're paying. It's the rate of change. And it's all about just incremental sentiment. It's not really good for anyone. You know, it's sentiment like the idea.
Throw up that chart 13 there.
They'd be good for like dollar stores, right? Because they're closer by. But you know what? People just go to every store less. They do every incremental behavior less. And
it's pretty remarkable. This is a pretty remarkable chart. It's quite the coincidence, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's correlation is not causality, but in this case, it is.
So really, what's going on here?
I think you buckle down, man. That's just the price of gas. That's the price of gas. The number going higher. The purple line is the price of gas. It's just average price at the pump, up 25% since the beginning of March. We could talk about certain events that started then, obviously. And those are retail stocks, consumer discretionary stocks, just straight down. And it kind of doesn't matter. The beaten down groups have responded okay. Names like Williams Sonoma was pre-beaten up. That's down 14% since the beginning of the month. So it had a nice response to earnings yesterday, but that's simply because Laura Albert, who's running that, is a phenomenal CEO. It's a really good company. They're driving earnings and have been for ages, but it doesn't really matter. No one wants to hear it. There's your 6% rally in Williams Sonoma. If you got in early, you were pretty much definitively wrong. So congrats on catching that. Macy's bounced yesterday. On the other side of that bounce, and kind of on the other side, a lot of these for the short term, trying to find kind of stuff that looks like it's curling up a little bit. There you see Macy's. That's a nice quarter, guys. Even though it wasn't really a nice quarter, they kind of dressed up, put lipstick on a pig, and said things are fine. But how does Macy's go about? This is the classic incremental consumer company. You can find a lot of good reasons not to go to Macy's. It doesn't take much, and it's maybe I'm not going to go to this sort of place where I get sort of bargains. And can buy a bunch of stuff that I can also buy on the internet. That happens in a downturn, and we're looking at a downturn. We need this to reverse fast.
Jeff, we talked about this on the show yesterday on your show, but tell us what Macy's said about their old stores and their new stores, because that's hilarious.
Yeah, they came out and said, our comps are finally positive. That's fantastic. Their comps were driven by Bloomingdale's tiny part of the business. But the biggest thing was that the stores that they just freshly remodeled underperformed the stores they're about to close. And so they invented this entire kind of metric. Beware companies that invent new metrics, but it was like, the future golden children locations that we have, we're revamping them. They look exciting. They look vibrant. Those comped at significantly less than inflation, and the stores they're about to close, everything must go. It's the house of mold. The stores in neighborhoods where they get kind of looted every couple of months, those outperformed. Those drove the comps. And so if your remodels are underperforming your old stores, that's a bad sign. That's not a sign of competent management. That's in fact exactly the opposite of what they're saying, and that's a real problem. It's if you remodel your house and people ask you where your old rugs went, you're going to feel kind of bad about how your remodel went.
Damn.
Hilarious, by the way.
But did they say it was because it was like everything must go and therefore
no, there's no good reason for that. There's not a good excuse for that. It's one of those data points where it just kind of there's not a lot of questions other than you just kind of shake your head and feel bad for the guys trying to sell you this steaming cup of lies. Yeah, it's okay. Your remodel store should do better. That's just kind of how it works. Macy's has been selling the same turnaround for about the last 10 years. That's why their stock doesn't go anywhere. It's a decent trading stock, but like both sides of it. I've been on both sides of it. Made money on it long last year. Not trying to make money on it long this year. Put it that way. I'm dubious as to how that turns out in kind of the intermediate term. My two favorite positions right now, cash and fetal. We're in a wartime setting. I'm not sure how this turns out. I'm not short everything. The Bears don't have yachts, as they say, JC. You got to be kind of an optimist. You got to look for ways that it turns out, especially in times like these where every morning you wake up and it's like, holy crap, how did we blow up the world last night? It doesn't pay to just fall into that line of super negative thinking.
Bears don't have yachts. So many good one-liners today from Mackie.
I've got a high idea for you. I've been rested. I'm a little jet lagged, but pretty well rested overall.
If you were like a rapper, if there was any demand at all for a rapper about consumer stocks,
that would be me, man. That's my niche.
You could own that niche.
Yeah. I should be on a tugboat in Missouri at one of those casinos, the John Davidson.
Yeah, we should
casino.
get you and Mackie together in a room with a bunch of booze and see what happens.
Oh man, I'm sobering up. A lot of wine in Spain.
Good for you. I was going to ask you next, actually. How was the consumer spending? Were you noticing out there in Spain? Is everybody broke over there too, or is it just here?
Nah, man, the planes were packed. People actually were super gracious and kind to Americans. There's not a really hateful vibe out there that you're going to see at that high end. But that said, look at like the cruise stocks. I'm a fan of cruising. We have a long-standing bet. You're probably not going to go cruising next year, but you will eventually.
They want to go. They want to go to the Disney one.
They want to go to look at Disney's stock. And that tells you how Disney's cruise lines are doing fantastic. They're investing a ton of money there. That stock has been a pit of misery all year long. It doesn't really matter what numbers they're reporting. It doesn't matter how, we're hanging in there at the ESPN. The parks are doing great. We got a new CEO. Good luck. Your stock's at 100 and has been since 2014.
Bears don't have yachts, right? It is brilliant. It's fantastic. So they were spending the Spaniards. Were there a lot of like Americans there? Do you notice or no?
Decent number, but it was, I tell you what, I was looking at stuff like Lulu, looking at kind of international brands, how they're traveling. Adidas is kicking a dump truck full of ass.
Yeah.
Really exciting stores, doing really well. It's obviously a huge European brand, huge in soccer, or, as they call it, European football, I believe is what they refer to as over there.
I believe they do refer to it as that, yeah.
Yeah. But the really kind of exciting.
You're not allowed to use your hands. That's the rule.
It's because your upper body has nothing to do with that. Like, who knows?
No hands allowed.
It's a crazy cultural difference. That's why we travel, is to see these different unique things, like the Adidas stores that are doing kind of exciting stuff. Lulu reported this week, really kind of discouraging, kind of dispiriting, and you can see that everywhere you go. It's interesting to see just kind of the different brands. Inditex, the guys who run Zara over here, it's the biggest specialty retailer in the world, based in Spain. Absolutely juggernaut, just huge, palatial, gorgeous stores. It's just good to go abroad every once in a while and kind of broaden your perspective a little bit. But it sucks if you come back to America and gas prices are 25% higher and everyone's mopey as hell and their markets are falling apart. There are no hidey holes in these bear markets. Fami's right. Go to Hawaii. You can go abroad if you can afford it. Kind of, there are times that you just duck and cover is kind of a prevailing view. And this is one of those times, where we're just, and it moves like this kind of end in a capitulatory type of all hope is lost. Right now, we still have a little bit of hope, but you're seeing that start to break down. You're seeing that in precious metals. You're seeing it in a lot of different things. You can blame it on the dollar, but you know what? Our mojo's busted. We can make that as fancy sounding as we want, but that's what it comes down to.
Jeff, it's been a minute since I've looked at that Adidas chart. I guess that didn't benefit from the buy everything rally last year. It kind of
no,
yeah,
did not. Kind of got swept away in the last year was the big give back, right? Because we saw Deckers on the entire sort of not Nike train, kind of just they had a huge 2025 or 2024, and then they gave it all back. Adidas got stomped. They had like
a post Kanye. It was like a post Kanye rally, right?
The post Kanye rally. Actually they did. You know what? They sold his inventory. They wrote it all down to zero, and then they kind of quietly sold it all. They just said, I guess we're less offended than we thought. We're too offended to brand and label it, but we're not so offended that we're not going to collect a few $1 billion profiting from the sale of our remainder Kanye merchandise, which we wrote down to zero. And they had a huge
hot second. Like you were anti-Semitic if like you wore Adidas gear for like a second there, right?
I have the conspiracy about this, okay? Because my mom ordered shoes and they sent her online and they sent her Yeezys. And she was like, I don't want this. And she tried to return it. They're like, nope, you can't return it. Too bad. so I think they just gave them to people who didn't want it.
And who's going to benefit from that, Spencer? Your mom. Because Yeezys are comfortable, fun.
They actually are comfortable.
Yeah. I've got some Yeezys in my closet now. It's like, is the world ready for me to wear these yet? Because I'm ready to put them back on my feet. It's just a nice little bag.
They were comfortable. Shoe. That's true. Yeah. I did have one pair. They were good.
Yeah. I had a couple. Remember, you couldn't even order those. Those were so hot for just one big shiny second of Kanye reverence. That you couldn't even get online. They had like little sham contests where it would be, the tickets would be sold out as it were instantaneously. That ended kind of poorly. And he actually then became the brand ambassador of the Gap, which ended just in a steaming dump truck. Man, that was not.
I mean, there just seems to be a common denominator, common theme going on here that things just Kanye makes things blow up.
Not great hiring decision by the Gap. You've been fired by Adidas for your rampant anti-Semitism and calling all of our executives porn addicts. Why don't we make you head of all our stores? That represented a low point for the Gap.
Jeff, at what point does your focus get into consumers and robotics, like at what point can you say, I mean, it's not easy to buy humanoids or anything like that, but like, what do you think you need to see for that to enter into your universe?
And that people are going to buy the sex bots? I mean, what do you mean? We're going to
Not so
finally
much-
be buying the robotics? Just
Not
like
so
we're gonna
much the
actually
sex
have them in
bots.
there.
You think that that's all they're for at the beginning, just for sex?
I think right now what they're doing is they're automating every single supply chain and distribution center at Walmart and Amazon, and that's how we're using them. Eventually, we'll abuse them in all kinds of ways. We'll put latex on them and sicken the party up a little bit, and that's when they'll go mainstream. But right now, you're already seeing huge efficiency improvements from robots, from AI, from however you want to label it. You can always just stuff whatever tech.
But the consumer, the consumer direct to consumer side of, like, there's no like robot freak offs yet, but like when that comes, it'll be in your world.
Super inevitable, and will eventually. I mean, just because we do that with everything, and that drives the tech that drove home video. Yeah, let me tell you a dark story about the early days of home video, folks. It is, or the internet for that matter. It's very true that perversions drive the incremental dollar. We haven't seen it yet. Robotics at home.
So that's the signal when the perverted nature of the item comes to be, then that's when you know.
Right, which is an awkward conversation. Spencer's just cringing. He's the house of cringe over there. He thinks we're just being pervy for the sake of being pervy. We're not.
This is facts only.
We're telling just a dark truth. Spencer, if our truths disturb you, then you should stop listening to the questions. I mean, it's the problem is like JC and I are going to just tell you the honest truth, and maybe that's upsetting to you, but it's not really our problem.
Tell him, Maggie. Tell him.
I'm still wearing headphones.
Dude, Maggie, I'm being told by my sources. Now, next year at some point, I'm going to have a robot humanoid that's going to make me coffee in the morning, take out the trash, take the leaves out of my pool, cut the weeds. Like, you think I'm being told lies, or you think that's what's happening?
I think you're being told soft fibs.
Okay.
It's
soft fibs.
I'm an early adopter too, JC. And we both know that the robot that we get to take leaves out of our pool, that's going to fall in the pool. It's going to work sometimes. We're going to want to show it off to our friends.
Yeah, that bad.
It's not going to work. It's going to be awkward as hell. It's how'd your Roomba work? That company went bankrupt for a really good reason, because it was a crap vacuum cleaner that was all gimmicky and stuff. We didn't invent this. When I was a little kid, they had robot dogs that Sony made. It's like, oh, this is going to replace the pet. And the thing would like make some digital yapping noise 3 times and walk directly into a wall. It's like,
but it can also, it can do flips too, remember?
It could do
super slow, awkward flips. And I've got 2 dogs in my office. They're flatulating, they're snoring. They're still much better than the robot that could do a slow flip.
All right. So you're taking the under on the robot making me coffee.
I think you have a robot that makes coffee. It's called the coffee machine. And you can just program that and make that work.
What if I'm doing the morning show and we're having a lovely conversation about robot ditty parties, right? And I want a coffee.
Sure. And your little fembot will come out and say, "Good morning, JC.
Why does it have to be a fembot?
Because for reasons previously discussed. See, your Spencer's coughing. He's gonna cough up a lung here. It's so awkward for him. His throat's getting tight. His trachea is kind of
the fembots. That's hilarious.
Yeah, they're Austin Powers, man. That's a good stuff. You young people should go out there and rent that movie. But in the meantime, in terms of consumer,
that's not mine, baby. That's not mine.
Michael Myers was the biggest star in the world. We were young, man. It was the late 90s and everything was good. But we've been through a cycle or two. Your bottom line is, listen, try to be optimistic. Getting bears is not the same as just flipping all your longs to shorts, because shorts are a faster, angrier place. I'm looking to buy the capitulation. I'm sitting on a lot of cash, of which you never have enough of in tapes like this. But
I want to put some money to work myself, Mackie. I got to tell you.
And you're looking to buy a robot. See, when you're back to looking to want to buy good looking charts, that's when it'll be time to get long.
But the robot, my understanding is I'm getting it for like 20, 25 grand. That thing's definitely falling in the pool, huh?
It's definitely falling in the pool. It's definitely going to be, it's going to be Rocky IV, man. Remember Paulie's robot?
Dude, yes, they had the robots. That was 30 years ago. They had the robots.
Right. And how'd that work out for you? It's so bad that they edited out of Rocky IV now. It's my understanding that you no longer can see the robot in Rocky IV for really good reasons, because that was just horribly awkward.
Bummer.
Poor
All
Burt
right,
Young, man. Rest in
listen,
peace.
if you want to find out what is in Jeff's portfolio, hint, hint, he shorted a stock that we just talked about yesterday. Use the link that's on the screen. You'll find out what he owns, what he's buying, what he's selling. He puts on a new options trade every single week. That went out yesterday. So use that link, and you too can make money from retail stocks, just like Jeff. So, Jeff, glad to have you back. Hope you enjoyed your trip abroad.
Thank you. I did. It's nice to be back, boys.
We will talk to you
Thanks,
in a
Jeff.
couple of weeks. All right.
Jeff Mackey. So good. And one of the things that I love about it, we're talking about shorting one of these stocks that we just discussed. That's the great thing. It's one of many great things I think about Mackey's universe is that it doesn't matter whether we're in a bull market or in a bear market. You're going to have bull markets. You're going to have consumer stocks doing great. You're going to have consumer stocks doing terribly. Have you seen Wendy's? Right? You're going to have terrible consumer stocks in a bull market. Also, in a bear market, you're going to have incredible consumer stocks. There are always huge winners, always huge losers. Dispersion is the word of the year, but dispersion is a characteristic always in these consumer stocks, always. So if you like the dispersion we're seeing this year or you hate it, the consumer, you're going to see it always, no matter what. I really like that a lot.
I'm calling it. Wendy's is getting taken over before the end of this year.
Speaking of Wendy's, Strazza,
before the end of this year, private equity will come for Wendy's. Okay.
Is the Baconator the best burger?
I'm a big Baconator guy.
Before the year is out.
Is that what you get at Wendy's? You get a Baconator and a Frosty so you can dip your fries? Is that your move?
I don't do the dipping with the Frosters.
I don't either. I think that's nasty. A lot of people do though.
I did get a Shamrock Shake from McDonald's the other day. Enjoyed that.
What is a Shamrock Shake?
It's so artificial. It's so gross.
What is it?
So gross.
I don't know what it is. I swear to God, I'm not goofing.
It's a minty, delicious shake.
Oh,
it's
a lot of whipped cream on there.
It's mint on steroids.
Why would I want my drink to taste like toothpaste? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's mint on steroids.
It's delicious. Try it.
No,
I am not.
So
I'm not going to try it. Aren't you on the promo program now? You're eating. What do you call it? The Shamrock Shake.
This was a week and a half ago.
Oh, you weren't on the promo program then?
So gross. Okay, hey, listen
and
up.
I do the triple cheeseburger at McDonald's. That's the best burger. People are like, oh, that meat is fake. If you're going to McDonald's for the real meat, you already fucked up.
That's right. Right. What are you doing?
Listen up. We got
McDonald's to get fat. Just embrace it.
We got Sean here.
Probably.
We got Sean here. Before I bring Sean out, I want to just give a quick PSA. Strazza is doing a new member orientation for the new members of Wave Trader. We were running an offer. I think the offer may have expired. I'm not sure. Regardless, if you're not in and you want to get in, just email Mary. I'll put her email address on the screen right now. There it is, info@stockmarketmedia.com, and she can help you out. And Strazza's running class today or tomorrow, but regardless, Wave Trader has been a massive success since Steve unveiled it publicly, I guess 2 weeks ago now. I have lost count on how many trade alerts you've sent. I know it's more than 10. So the guys, the guy's been crushing it, right? So anyway, get Wave Trader. If you didn't get the offer before, email the email on the screen and talk to Mary, and she can maybe hook you up. I don't know. All right, let's bring on Sean and hopefully bring some sanity back to the show. Speaking of Sean and traveling, Sean's going away too. I think he'll be out next week because he's going
traveling. So nice.
He's going to the mountains or something. Or Yosemite.
So much travel.
I'm not quite sure, but anyway, here we go.
Shawnee, baby.
Yes, Spencer. I will be traveling, leaving tomorrow morning, heading to Northern California, spending some time outdoors, a lot of time outdoors.
And where are you going?
I'm going to be spending some time near Santa Cruz for a few days, and then the redwood forests in extreme Northern California near the Oregon border.
They got big trees there.
The biggest.
The biggest, right?
The biggest.
You gonna walk through them and stuff?
That's exactly what I'm going to do.
That's cool. They got big roots, probably.
They've got they've got big roots. They've got big roots. Yes.
I'm eagerly awaiting the blog post for when Sean gets back, equating redwood trees to options trading.
Oh, the
somehow.
redwood tree reminds me of
Right.
implied volatility mean reversion.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Hey, I couldn't help but notice you guys earlier talking about software stocks, and I don't know. Sounded like you guys were a little butthurt about software stocks. And if you're a simple trend follower like me, I don't know what the problem is. These things have been going down forever, and if you haven't been short these things, you're doing it wrong.
Well, they stopped going down 6 weeks ago, most of them.
Correct.
They've been the strongest stocks off the lows a couple of weeks ago, Sean. Some of them are.
Yeah, they have not been going
40%.
down, Sean.
What
are you talking about, Willis?
Strange that I just took profits in Oracle yesterday on my bearish trade, and I'm in Adobe riding that thing down pretty well. And
Listen, no, hey, Sean has nailed this trade for sure to the downside, but these things stopped going down last month, which is what we've been talking about. And I don't know if they've gone down, if that's it, and they're going down process. But I'll tell you what, that Adobe is the one that needs to hold because it's the most vulnerable, and then Oracle and Microsoft are right behind it. I'm not saying that they're not going to continue lower. I'm not butthurt. I'm not long or short, but I think that the implications of the of what happens here, I think, is impactful for the market, and that I do care.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think these are. I mean, I don't think any of these stocks are in any situation here where you want to be trying to catch the turn. Sure, maybe the bottom is in, maybe, but do you need to catch the bottom to make money in these things? I don't think so. I think you wait and see. To buy these things. But if anything, they're still on my radar for continued short side trades until something changes.
Listen, you've had the hot hand, and you were right. We were in Miami, and you were literally, I'm like, Sean, are you even listening? And you're like, nope, I'm shorting software stocks.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Look, you guys know me. I'm at the heart, I'm a trend follower. That's it. I keep it as simple as I possibly can. It doesn't mean I don't take other types of trades from time to time, but gun to my head, nothing else. I can only do one thing for the rest of my trading life. It's following trends, buying breakouts, selling breakdowns. That's what I do. That's what works for me. That's what's always worked for me. And I see no reason to change that.
Strazza, Brian Hare is saying that the Citrini article marked the bottom for software. That went, that was like that blog post that went kind of viral that was written by AI or something. And
was it actually written by AI?
I don't know.
It's about AI written by AI.
I'll tell you what, I put it into AI and had AI tell me what I needed to know about it. That is true. I did do that.
Speaking of that, I really liked your AI March Madness picks. Well done. The total crazy picks.
You like that? So I put into AI. I'm trying to play with the toys, Shawnee. You noticing? And I included you in that discussion because I know you're a fan of college basketball and
better
you're
late
a fan
than
of
never.
being efficient and using things too. So I was like, hey, look, March Madness is coming. I don't do the brackets and gamble, like that's not for me. But I understand other people do. So I was like, hey, for fun, let's ask ChatGPT what it thinks my bracket should look like to optimize that. So I just sent it to the fellas. That's it.
Hey, I love to hear you playing with the new toys. I too have been playing with the new toys, and I'll tell you what, JC, in the last month or so, and it didn't even take me that long. It took me like 3 days. I built and I'm not a coder. I've never coded a single thing in my life. I don't even know what one single line of code means, but I built a trading app for myself that has totally streamlined a lot of the stuff that I do. It's unbelievable.
What do you use?
I use Claude Code.
Who's fancy? Who's fancy?
Dude, the thing that I built, I mean, I look at it, I'm like, holy shit, this is something I would have paid thousands of dollars for. I built it in a couple of afternoons, and it's amazing. And
can you walk us? Can you walk us through it today in our meeting? Just 5 minutes.
I mean, it's not something that's like for public. It's just helps me do what I do.
I want you to walk us through just out of curiosity today.
Sure.
Can we do that?
5 minutes. Talk about it. Yeah, it's just, I mean, the tools are amazing. Like I said, I'm a computer idiot, total idiot. And the fact that I've built a couple apps in the last month that really help what I do, it's unbelievable. It's
You
blowing
tell your
my
wife,
mind.
be like, "Yo, I built an app today. What you know about that? Like, do you brag about it? Like that you're the man?"
Well, no, but my wife likes to tease me because she'll find me, up like sitting in our bed with my laptop. Like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm coding. She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm coding.
It's vibe coding, I believe, is what it's called, right?
That's what it is. Yeah, yeah. But man, it's these new tools that have been rolled out in the last couple of months with AI. It's just blowing my mind. It's
Dude, I love that Sean is vibe coding. Dude, that's
vibe coding.
Are
Well,
you
look,
very excited for Nashville?
of course, man. Of course, Nashville's a great city.
Nashville seems like your kind of town.
Yeah, man. I hope we're building in some time to catch some music because I mean that's what Nashville's for.
Obviously. Dude, you can't go anywhere. Just go into the coffee shop. There's like a young gal with a guitar, like you can't escape it there.
No, I know it's amazing. I one time went to Nashville on a Sunday morning. We flew into Nashville, then we were driving to the Smoky Mountains. So it was like another 2-hour drive from there. But it was a Sunday morning at like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I had been there before, but my wife had never. So I was like, "Hey, I'm going to take you to Broadway. We're going to go find a place to eat some breakfast. But I just want you to imagine, before we get there, I want you to imagine like on a Saturday night, this place is crazy and there's music everywhere. But it'll be dead. It's Sunday morning." So we get to Broadway at like 8:30 in the morning on a Sunday, and I kid you not, there was music everywhere. Every bar had a live band playing at 8:30 in the morning. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I'm blown away. Nashville's a great town.
It is absolutely. I went with my wife. I had never been, and we went on our anniversary, like our 5-year anniversary, and it was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
You could do it. You could do bachelorette parties, which, of course, people have been known to do that there.
Yeah.
And you could do a dude's trip or I went with my wife. We had a blast. Went to the spa. It was great, dude. Nashville's a great town. Looking
All
forward
right, look,
to that.
maybe a little less time in the conference room and a little more time on Broadway Street. What do you think?
We should have a meeting on the 4th floor of that Kid Rock.
Yeah,
bar.
there you go. Now you're
Yeah,
talking.
that place,
That's
that
the
Kid
place.
Rock bar actually is pretty awesome. I'm not like a Kid Rock fan or anything. I don't really know many of his
It's a
songs.
great music
but,
venue.
The bar itself is actually awesome.
Yeah, it's a great music venue. I've seen shows there. It's great.
So portfolioaccelerator.com if you have any interest. All right, Strazza fucking loves Kid Rock. All right. I don't really know much about Kid Rock.
Hey, look, the bell's about to ring, and anyone who's an options trader who's got March expiration options, we got 2 days left to expiration. So if you're holding anything long or holding anything like I am, time to hit the exits, ladies and gentlemen. It's time to go. Time to go.
Time to go. Time to hit the exits. Expiration on Friday. Shawnee, I know you still think software might have some room to the downside. What else is on your radar to put on today?
To put on today? Well, man, I don't know. I take it as they come, JC. I set a whole bunch of alerts, and when they pop, I go. I have a lot of energy exposure that I'm probably going to be taking off today. Most of it winners, thankfully. But yeah, my focus today, like I just kind of hinted, is I'm taking a lot of March options off. I got a bunch. I don't know if you can hear the bells popping right now. They're all popping right now.
Well, listen, go do your thing, Shawnee.
All right. Well,
Sean, enjoy the Smoky Mountains or the Redwood Forest or wherever the hell it is you're going.
thank you, boys.
right.
See you next week.
Say hi to the Californians.
Yeah. All right, that's the opening bell. We should get out of here. We didn't even mention like the Federal Reserve at all. They had a meeting yesterday and a press conference.
Do they still do those?
They did, and I think I like to find the one sentence that kind of summarizes the entire thing up, and I think this was it yesterday. If there was ever a meeting to skip releasing economic projections, this would be a good one because we just don't know. The theme of yesterday was we don't know. We don't know. There's a war, and we don't know. We don't know anything. That was kind of
yeah. No, they're saying basically the crude oil prices, blasting off aren't going to have a lasting impact. Obviously, they're going to say that. But I think the other two things that spooked people was Powell kind of hinting that he might stick around for a while, depending on.
He didn't hint that. He said that.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah.
He's very bold.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And the other part that spooked the market a bit was flirting with the idea of a rate hike being the next move instead of a cut.
Well, if energy prices are doing what they're doing, can we do a little quick recess and go? I got trades.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
All right, quick recess. Want to give a shout out to Le Marais.
What's that?
Le Marais is a kosher steakhouse in Midtown Manhattan, over near Hell's Kitchen, over in the theater district. Let me tell you something. I'm not like a kosher guy. I'm not even Jewish, right? But I am into the kosher steakhouses, and I went out of my way to try a few other things because I don't find myself in kosher locations very often.
Yeah.
Right?
What does one eat? I'm asking as a Jewish person. I don't
So I'll
even
tell
know.
you a couple of interesting things. First of all, it's a steakhouse, so you get the ribeye, and it was delicious.
Fine.
Obviously. The ribeye was fantastic because it's so, you got to have the kitchen's got to be right. I mean,
Yeah,
there are a lot of
yeah, I
steps
got it.
involved to make a kosher steak. So you better make a good steak. You're going to go through all that trouble is how I look at it. And boy, do they. The guys that own it aren't even Jewish. They're Portuguese. So shout out to the Portuguese. Yeah. And then but obviously the whole
they
place,
can be both, but okay.
yeah, they can be both, but in this case they are not. They are Portuguese Gentiles making great kosher cuisine with a French influence. And so they don't do the duck liver mousse, of course, because that is not kosher, duck liver mousse. But they do like a mushroom pate that really tastes kind of like duck liver mousse with a little crostini. Fantastic. So shout out to the mushroom pate. Never thought those words would come out of my mouth. And then also, they don't do the bacon, obviously, at a kosher place, naturally. But they do the veal belly. So they do bacon of the veal. And I got to tell you, pretty awesome.
Veal
awesome.
belly. I've never tried that. I've
Veal
never
belly,
seen that on the
it's
menu.
like the bacon of the veal because they don't do the pig, right? So like at a kosher place, they can't serve the bacon, but you're at a steakhouse, so you want the bacon, so they do it their way. They don't do the duck liver mousse. They did the mushroom pate, and then for dessert, because there's kosher, like you got like the cakes and stuff are harder and more complicated because you got to I forget what it is, but you can't just do cakes in kosher places.
It's because if it's a steakhouse, their cakes aren't going to have dairy.
Oh yeah, the dairy. Good call.
You can't
Because of
mix
the dairy.
the dairy with the meat. So
It's a non-dairy chocolate cake with non-dairy ice cream that I gotta tell you was pretty damn good. So I just want to give a shout out to Le Marais. It seems like a lot of effort to what they did, but boy, do they do a nice job. By the way, great wine list. The wine list, all kosher. I'm drinking my Left Bank Bordeaux. Dude, fantastic meal. Highly recommend Le Marais. Get the bacon at the kosher place. True story.
All right, everyone. Coming up next on Stock Market TV, the $1 million question with Stephen Weitzel. They're talking about, I say they because he's going to be joined by Strazza, talking about private credit today. What you need to know and how
What
to
time is
think
this
about
at?
it.
I want to be there. What time?
This is in 25 minutes from now.
I'll be there.
10 o'clock
We're gonna scare
Eastern
people
time.
about
Stephen
private credit.
Weitzel, Steve Strazza, private credit right here, Stock Market TV. We got that coming up. We got the jam session with Sean today at 3 o'clock. We got the Gold Rush guys going live at 2 o'clock. And it's Thursday, which means Crypto After Dark with Louis Sykes at 9 p.m. Eastern time. He's going to talk about how the S&P 500 is never going to close ever again. Open forever until the end of time. That's on Crypto After Dark tonight at 9. That's what we got today on the channel. Happy first day of March Madness to all those who celebrate. I know I do. Good luck to those of you like Strazza whose teams are actually in the tournament this year. Good luck to you,
Canes.
sir.
Go Canes.
Go,
Miami's
yeah,
good this year.
and JC.
Go
Go Canes.
Fairfield Lady Stags. Shout out to the Lady Stags.
Them too. That's right. Big day for us. Big day for basketball. Go make some money. We'll see you later. Have a good one.
Adios.
Adios.
Run it. I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it costs.